This one is definitely for those of you who are doing something different from your bloodline. Strong maternal energy specifically is coming through, but even if this is from your father's side of the family, this is something that was most likely passed down through the mitochondrial DNA, because the energy of the divine feminine, the empress, the mother, came through quite strong in this specific reading. So depending on who you are, this could have been something ancestrally passed on, whether it's genetically, epigenetically. Maybe it is just like habits of thinking, certain traditions and values that were subconsciously or unconsciously influencing you in your life. Or maybe you're fully conscious of what these were, so you were actively breaking these specific patterns. And maybe even a bit of both, where it's like you were unaware and then you became aware, and because you became aware, you were more active in breaking free from this habit, this dynamic, this pattern, or this system, essentially rewriting history as you do so. Depending on what this pattern is for you, you are a trailblazer and a pattern breaker for so many, who is liberating so many within your bloodline. Perhaps they didn't have the opportunity to do this because of knowledge or resources, inner strength, etc. All I know is I keep getting, you are brave, you are brave, you are so, so brave. And this is definitely the energy of people who are watching you take this new leap of faith. So this is not necessarily just from your ancestors who are super proud of you, who are cheering you on, who are being liberated quite literally by you liberating yourself in this way. But there are people who are observing you, take this leap of faith in this new direction, ditching everything comfortable, known, and predictable for something daring, unconventional, unwritten, unseen, and new. This could be some kind of decision, for example, to relocate to a new country. Maybe you're doing it all on your own, maybe you're just a woman, maybe you're doing it with someone you kind of don't know. So just using that as an example of moving to a new country. It's something that maybe your forefathers long ago did, but something that hasn't been seen or done in a very long time within your bloodline. So perhaps you're doing something completely different, unseen within your family or community by someone like you or anyone for that matter. What I mean by that is, if this, for example, is within a family dynamic, they just are surprised as a whole. Depending on what communities you're identifying with and where this is applicable, someone like you or anyone in general could just be seen as like someone who's making really bold choices and decisions in connection to what truly is happiness for them, harmony for them, peace for them, joy for them, Your bold choices to choose happiness, harmony, love, peace, stability, and the way in which you define it is kind of intimidating and surprising to many. It feels like a judgment call that you made from a place of acceptance. That's kind of what I'm seeing, at least in the cards, where you may have felt pushed even. That's what I'm seeing when I look at this card, to make this specific jump. Like everything in life kind of cornered you to leap and move purely by faith and trust in God. Like this is your freedom. This is the only way out. This is divine orchestration in your life, bringing to you the very prayers and intentions you've been setting forth out as a whole. This also feels like a choice and decision made from a place of self-awareness. You were very honest about what was wanted by you, what feels good. It's a choice made from clarity, meaning non-judgmental energy specifically coming through. If something bad happened, there's an energy of like, yeah, the love is lost perhaps, but this isn't an energy of like moving from revenge or moving from an overly emotional, angry, hurt space. Rather, it's giving acceptance. It's rather giving surrender. It's rather giving trusting in the universe, just feeling within yourself somehow, some way that you just know that this is the right way, that this is blessed, that this is going to work out. That the universe will absolutely, as it always has, catch you. Like I said, this feels like a choice made from a place of clarity, remaining non-judgmental. For example, maybe you had to ditch some people and it's like, maybe it's because of how they move, through life. And it's like, you kind of had to be really honest about what you were willing to tolerate, what you believed you were worth and what you believed you deserved, and what a love-filled situation looks and feels like for you. Because the themes of harmony, happiness, stability, peace, what that looks like, feels like what has been driving this specific decision process, especially if you've been dealing with something or a group of people who've been immovable, unchanging, refusing to shift and change their perspective, because this card came through in reverse. Either way, this bold choice and decision you're doing is definitely something that feels like a shift and change from what is known within your community. Specifically, like I said, because this card came through, your maternal DNA is coming through. Like I said, maybe you're doing something that generations before you either couldn't do or didn't get the chance to do because of resources, knowledge, timing. By timing, for example, think about women or Black people who couldn't do certain things that you are now in the position to do. And like I said, there's a part of you where this feels familiar at a soul level. Even if it hasn't been seen in a while within, your specific recent bloodline, you definitely have people within your bloodline who are maybe in the past, like really, really, really far past, or maybe not so far, but in comparison to the recent, bloodline, who have done this before and who are guiding you through this jump, protecting you and leading you through it. It's also kind of reminding me this energy of like marrying someone you barely know, relocating for marriage, or whatever reasons that you're doing something new and scary. And like I said, there are people within your community where it's like, wow, this is quite a big decision. So yeah, it feels a little risky maybe, but also empowering at times. Very, very empowering, because like I said, there's this energy that comes through of courage indeed, and trusting in spirit and being guided by spirit. And part of why this choice looks brave and big is because it literally goes against what you and maybe even others expected you to do. And so it's like I said, where it's like life kind of cornered you to make this jump, where it's like, this is your answered prayer, this is the only door that's opening up for you, this is your happily ever after, this is how it all unfolds, this is how it all begins, since this is the energy of a brand new fresh start. So until the next one, keep shining, take good care, my big beautiful brave souls. And if you got all the way to the end of the reading, I would love to know. You can comment down 400, since it is literally 2 p.m. on the clock as I'm recording this yummy message. Big kisses, wishing you the absolute best. Until the next one, bye for now.